What's good? It's your boy D Dot with MajorMusicENT.com and IcebreakerRadio.com. Producers Corner. Tune in every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time on IcebreakerRadio.com. We get a lot of game on just music production in general, pro audio, engineering, marketing, stuff that you would probably have to pay for to get somebody to teach you on a one-on-one basis. And, we give the knowledge out there. It's just the fact of do you want to work and do you want to acquire the knowledge? So it's always there. Um, See, the one thing is some of the guys, they want to get better, but they don't want to put in the work to get better. And that's a big part of it. Just going to talk a little bit about reinvesting into your business. It's going to mainly be for producers. And, one of the things is selling beats, you got to start thinking about it as a legitimate business, not as a hustle. Um, some of the things that happen is we spend, we may get anxious because we made a little bit of money here and there off of the production and go out and spend it on stuff that won't bring us profit in return. And when you're running a legitimate business, you have to reinvest into what you're doing. Just think about, or really look around you. Look at what you got on. Clothes you got on, tennis shoes you got on. Look around your studio. Look at your cell phone. Look at, your TV. If you play video games. Look at the brands associated with all those things I just said. Now, just think about if you watch a little bit of TV here and there, how many commercials do you see in reference to what you're doing? And then you can also think about that advertising on the internet. How many ads do you see in reference to some of the things that you have in your home or that you wear every day? And that's what these companies are doing. They haven't just invented, you think like Microsoft years ago invented the Xbox and sold, 1,000, 10,000 Xboxes and just said, hey, we're gonna go out here and spend some money on, I don't know, something that won't bring us anything in return. No, they made sure that they took their profits, whether it was off of the hardware or software itself, and put it back into their business. That's the way you got to think about what you're doing. Because instant gratification, like going out to a club or something, that won't bring you something in return, that's really what leads you to constantly thinking that you have a hustle, not a legitimate business. Now, granted, there are times when we may have to take that money and do something that's a little more of higher importance. I mean, I've been there before too on both ends of the spectrum, actually, because when I first started making money off of music, I was doing other things than reinvesting it into my career. And what kind of started making me think of what I did in a different perspective is, and I've told this story to some of you, but just from having a 9 to 5 job, there have been times where I've been laid off of my jobs, and it happened to me twice. And the things are that the first time it happened, that's when I really got to knowing that I can make some money off of doing these beats. And over from that time to the second time, that's when I really started to develop my business savvy. That's when I went from that guy who, I might make 30, 60, $90 on some beats one week, go spend it on something that, and we've all been there, spend it on something that just we want and we don't need, instead of taking that money and reinvesting it. And over that period of time, I think like 4 or 5 years passed, I've learned another thing was how to go from spending it on pointless things to reinvesting. And that's led to a little bit more opportunities with a wider range of artists. Anything from also doing like radio interviews or performances in the area, or even me interviewing other people, based on just from what I do in the producer's corner, because my name even gets out in regards to that with other artists and producers in the area. Um, and it ensures you if there's ever an event that you do lose your job. Where you see, the thing is, when you have a job, you're complacent. You go work a couple of hours a day, you're gonna get a check, 2 weeks or a week down the line just for putting it. You're trading time for money. As to where when you're doing this music, you really have to be self motivated. I mean, they don't really teach, and I don't. They don't teach you how to reinvest. You have to really be self motivated and learn these things for yourself. And I've learned a lot of these things for myself through trial and error. And you see, back to my point at hand is the job example is when you lose that job and you have reinvested into what you do, you don't miss a beat. You still got that money coming in. As to where you lose a job, then you start panicking. Um, you worry about how you're gonna pay your bills, and you don't need that extra stuff in life. I mean, that'll slow you down from where you really want to be. And there's a lot of people out there that really don't understand the concept of reinvesting in order to grow your business. The second thing is invest small. You might make, kind of like the example I was making earlier, you might make 30, 60, $90 here and there from your production business. And if it's something like that, I would say, let's say you make $100 selling beats. I would say probably invest maybe $70 of that, and maybe take 20, 30. I know it's a small amount, but do something with that. Whether it's you may want to go out and treat yourself just for doing what you're doing, but don't get out of hand and start blowing all your money in a club like you big balling, and don't start spending it on stuff that won't bring you anything in return. Um, that doing those things will show you really that it's a legitimate business and not a hustle. Because a hustle, you start being a little more desperate, and we all see these guys on the internet selling beats for $5, $10, even 99 cents, and it to me brings down the value of your work. I mean, you've spent way more money on that. Hell, you see that speaker behind me. Everybody know how much those Rocket 5s cost. Why would I want to sell a beat for 99 cents? That's not just smart business. I want to make some money off of what I'm doing. I'm thinking long term with this. Um, the other piece and the final piece I really want to get at is start other ventures. That'll definitely help you kind of stay on the ball as far as investments and learning how to really tweak business plans and grow. Because you got to start thinking differently. Start thinking as an entrepreneur rather than somebody that has to be led along the way. You want to lead. You don't want to follow. And with those other ventures popping up, guess what? It's giving you other means of getting income. Again, when you lose a job, you won't have to worry about, or if you step away from a job, you won't have to worry about ever missing a beat. Now, there are certain jobs out there you will have that, like for me, for example, I enjoy sales. I've always been in sales my entire life, and that's just what I enjoy doing. And I think that no matter what you're doing, sales kind of applies the same way. You approach it the same way. And that's kind of how I approach my business and how I work with people. You want to make them an offer and let them know that you're fulfilling a need that they have. Hey, artist, you want to make a mixtape, and I want to work with you, and here's how we can make that happen. And you don't want to necessarily make it seem like you're feasting for money, because you're not. I mean, you're growing a legitimate business. You want to do what you want to do as a career. You don't want to do it as just a job. This is pretty much all I'm gonna get into, as far as reinvestments, and the same thing really can apply for artists too. You go out there, you do some shows, you make some money off of albums, whatever that is. Start thinking of other ways you can grow what you're doing. Real quick before we exit, I want to just let everybody know we're going to be making an announcement very shortly on how you, as an artist or producer, can be a part of the Producer's Corner Mixtape Volume 2. We're going to be releasing 10 spots, and there will be a small submission fee of $10. And again, we're going to show you how and where you can submit that to. And we should have that out within the next week or two, and I'm going to be doing a video as well to kind of let you guys know on how you can do that. But it's a great opportunity to get your music heard and just grow that fan base potentially, and be on a project with some other great artists and other great producers as well. Go to my website, MajorMusicENT.com, and you can actually download the first Producer's Corner mixtape and just kind of get a feel for some of the things we did the first go around. And it was a pretty successful mixtape, and this one's going to be heavily promoted, and we're working on securing a couple of other things for the mixtape right now as well, that we're going to be letting everybody know about. It's been your boy D Dot with Major Music TV. If you got any questions, please hit me up. Follow me on Twitter at DEEDOT81 or at Major Music Beats. If you're an artist looking for production, mixing, or mastering, hit me up at 972-591-1049. Also do photography, music videos, social media blasts. And for the photography and videos, we are willing to travel. Just hit me up. We'll chop it up in regards to that. And otherwise, hope you guys have a very blessed week and get some work in. Definitely looking forward to hearing from some of you guys. And if you want to work, reach out to me, man. And I definitely reach out to you. And again, if you got any questions, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, comment. It's your boy D Dot, and I'm out. Yeah.